In this video, we'll see how to build an Android app to create a vector database from PDF with using Gemini and Pinecone. So let's see. So first and foremost, let me show you a demo. I have already created this app, and first I'll show you a demo. So it's a very simple layout. I just click this button, and what it will do is on clicking this button, okay, so it will ask for me to select the files, PDF files. So I have already created few custom files, PDF files. So probably I can show you the content. The content of this file is, say for example, for this one, let me zoom in and probably a bit more zoom in so that it's readable. So it's about something about artificial intelligence, history of AI and all. Okay, so this is the PDF document, and we'll be using this document probably to create our chunks. Okay, so let me go back to the app. So okay, let me restart. Let me rerun the app, and the layout is very simple. As I told you, to just bring up a button, and on clicking that, it will run to the code, and if everything fine, then it should give me a, okay, it's asking for a document to select. So I selected a custom document, and if everything is fine, then it will give me a update here that document is processed, something like that. Or instead of toast, we can also put it in a kind of text view. Yes, so it came for a very short while. I'm not sure it was visible, but I can just show you. It will, yeah, it will give this particular toast message that it's process the file name. Probably I can do one thing. I can change it to long so that next time when I run it, it's visible for a longer duration for this demo. Okay, so but how will you confirm that whether it's really successful or not? So what we can do it is we can go to the database. So I have created a database called my PDF index in Pinecone. So I'm using the Pinecone database to show it, and over here, yeah, for the sensitive dimensions. So if I refresh it, I can see the data over here or the chunks over here. So basically what it's doing, it's basically breaking that particular whole PDF document into a smaller chunks of data, which is this one. So if I hover over here, so it's a chunks, so around like yeah, 10 11 chunks. Based on the chunk size, it will create the size is basically the number of characters in a particular chunk, and it will create that. And if you want to see the particular value, so I'll just go here and say, for example, if you want to see the value for this one, so what is the value? So this is the value. So this will be, if I hover over here, okay, so it's not a hovering, but if I copy, and then it will be around this kind of vector, it will come over here. Okay, so let's see how we can develop it on our own. So let me go back to my steps. So steps are, first let's set up a project and APIs. So we have to set up APIs for Gemini. We'll need a API for Gemini, so that's pretty much straightforward. So what you should do is you should go to your Google AI Studio, and in this create API, go here and then create an API if it's not already created. If it's created, then we can reuse this one. Okay, so we'll use this one in our code. Okay, and then second step is to create a for Pinecone APIs also. Okay, so for Pinecone, I'll do one thing. I'll try to show from a very new account. Okay, so this is a very new account I created, and over here, okay, one thing which we need is API keys. Okay, so what we can do it is there are default keys which it provides, but I don't think there's any way to retrieve this API key. So I'll create a new API key. Probably I'll name it as vector DB, and I'll just click on create key, and don't forget to copy this because as it says, so I'll just copy it over here for now, and this is my Pinecone API key. By the way, don't use my API key. None of this. I'll leave it. I'll anyway remove it after this recording. But yeah, don't use my API key. And so this is for the API key over here. And the other thing which I'll need is to create an index. So you can give probably again some name and vector db can contain only lowercase letters. Okay, so it's doesn't allow vector db. Yeah, this is fine. And then the other things are configuration, so we can choose which particular model which you want, but over here I'll just set it manually because we are going for Gemini and that option is not here. And Gemini, I know it's 768 dimensions. If you don't know, then you have to know the dimensions basically. So dimensions is nothing but, say for example, if I go here in the earlier one, so here the value over here, right? So this is around 768 values for each chunk it will create. So say for example, I copied it and I'll paste it in a notepad plus. So copied this in notepad plus plus. So if you count this, it will be 768. So one of the easy way to count it is, say for example, I'll count just a number of dots. So this is around 768 matches. So that's the dimension basically. So Gemini creates 768 dimensions of this. So and metric you can leave it cosine. Rest of things looks good. It's serverless definitely, and cloud provider could be any cloud provider you choose. Region could be US East one, which is the most popular one for AWS. And yeah, you can either enable delete protection, but I will anyway delete the data. This is just for prototypes, so I'll just create it. So once you have it, then this is one of the important ones, the URL this you can get, and this we will need in our code. Okay, so let me go back to my document. So this step number one is done. No, step number two is pick and extract PDF. So this part we'll do it in the Android code. This point number two and three. So let's start with the Android part. Okay, so I'll just stop this app for now. I'll do one thing. I'll create a new project, and name of the project I can give it is Vector DB Android app. Okay, you can name it anything. Probably 35 is the latest, but I'll just go for one level, one or two versions before also, just for make sure that it yeah, it spans across the devices at least to a certain extent. And let me wait for the environment to load. It will take a while. So in the meantime, I can just show you a few things. What we need from the previous app is okay. In manifest file, the only permission which we need is internet. That's straightforward. But apart from that, in Gradle file, we need to implement few dependencies, which are basically OK, HTTP, and Retrofit, and all, and iText for reading that text from the PDF. Okay, so once my environment comes up, we can start doing this. So let me quickly complete one by one. So say for example, for manifest file, I'll just update this. It needs what internet, nothing else. And then I'll also need to update my Gradle file. So for Gradle file, I need these four permissions of not permissions but dependencies. And also I think I need to update this to avoid any kind of conflict. Because I think it was giving me some kind of build error. Okay, it may take a while to implement all these dependencies based on your internet speed. No, next is XML file. We can quickly update, so that's also straightforward. So what we'll do is we'll just go here, and I think I can minimize this part and XML file, and I can just see, and over here. So this will just do the thing is like it will remove, and it will just keep a one particular button over here. Okay, and now the interesting part starts. So I'll have to create a nice structure of the code here. It is not required to be so sophisticated, but it will help you in case you want to scale it. Okay, I'm not scale it further. Okay, so here I need to create two packages. One is API, so just right click over here and new, and there should be an option of package. Just give the name API, and one more package I need is models, I think. Yeah, models, yeah, that's correct. So over here I'll just go here and click on this, and again I'll just say models. Perfect. Now for API, what I'll do is I'll just probably I'll do one thing. I can just copy this to code as it is. So okay, one by one, let me show you. No, first let me copy the code as it is over here. And so if I expand this, these two code came here, and same thing I'll do it is for this one. I'll have to do some changes. It won't work as it is, definitely. So change which I'll need to do is basically the package name. Okay, that's what I'll need to do, but I'll come to that later. First, let me complete the main activity part. Okay, so in the main activity, yeah, this error was expected. So let me go to the main activity here and just do a control A so that I can copy the complete code here, and I will do a paste of the code here, and I'll just remove this. Okay, yeah, these errors for now just ignore for now. So let's fix one by one all these things. Okay, so basically we'll have to change the package name over here, and package name is nothing but, I think, this one thing. If you change, that should be good enough. And so if I open this, I can change this one. Yeah, so I updated the package name for all, and even the import respectively I added, and everything looks good. So one by one I can just check all the code. So all the code looks now good. There is no error or no warning. So as the name suggests, this is for Gemini API. So it will just call the Gemini API. This is for Pinecone API. And this is for Gemini request. It will just form the request what it has to be sent to get the chunks like in the embedding 01 model. And this is to get the Gemini response in a particular form, which is basically to get the values out of the returned value of embedding. And this is for Pinecone upsert request. Okay, so main code is of course in this one and in the main activity, and over here now the only thing left is we have to just update the Gemini and those API keys. Okay, so this is I think more or less same. I don't think I changed anything, but it's still no harm in updating this. But yeah, Pinecone API I may have to update because I created a new project here. So here I'll update this one. So yes, and also one more thing what I'll need to change is if I scroll down, there'll be somewhere called the project path or some kind of URL. Yeah, that's over here, line number 60. So this will have to change to the one which we just now created. So just copy this and go back here, and over here we may have to update this particular part. That's all I guess. Now let's run it and see if it works. So how will we show? So right now there is no record data, so I can just refresh it once again to be sure that there is no record data. And even I'll just check the metrics and it will show empty. But in the meantime, just let me go quickly here and see what it is coming up in the app. So it is still taking time. In the meantime, I'll just quickly go here. So yeah, there is no record data, and even in the matrix, if I see, everything is zero. There is no usage until now at least. So let me go back here. It's taking time since it's the first one. I can so yeah, it's taking time. So let it complete. Yeah, so it's completed. It looks exactly same because I just anyway copied the code from the previous project and running. So it's asking for me to select the document again. So I'll just select. These are my recent documents. But what you can do is also you can navigate manually if you want to select any other document. So I'll just select this one, and again it will take a while. And once everything is successful, there will be a toast message over here that is processed successfully. So let's wait. Yeah, so it says processed whatever MSF and all. So let me just go and back and check here. So if I refresh this, now I should be able to see the data over here, which are the chunks. Okay, so chunk size could be, I don't know, depending on the length of the document and the chunk size whatever we have given. So it is still not here. So let me refresh it again and see. It may take a while sometimes to reflect here, but I was hoping to it to be here by now. Okay, so I'm refreshing it again. Okay, now the record counts comes 11. Yeah. So you can see the chunks has been created. So if I can hover over here, so there are like different chunks and like yeah. So how the chunks are decided? So this is the chunk 0, 8 and what. So I can just show you. So in the code, so there is something called, okay, let me bring this here. There is something called chunk size, and this is the chunk size. So this is basically the number of characters in each chunk. So a smaller the number, the smaller will be the chunk size, the more will be the accuracy. However, the problem will be the your database size will be much more bigger. So I have opened this document in my desktop as well, apart from the Android phone. So yeah, this is a short document. So here it is fine. So even for this one page document, for chunk size of 200 characters, it has to create around 11 chunks, right? So yeah, we can reduce the size further to say, for example, 100, and let's see how what happens. So let me rerun it and see. But yeah, more or less the process remains this. So yeah, and in the meantime, let me quickly explain you the code over here. So in the code, basically it's doing, okay, let me run this, and in parallel I'll explain the code as well. So in the code, there are basically 4 5 methods. So in the on create, we are just setting the widgets in the on click listener for the button, which is calling this open file picker. Where the moment you choose a file, particular file, it will call the activity results, and from there it will call the extract text from PDF. So for extracting text from PDF, what it's doing is it's using the iText PDF library or dependencies to read that. Okay, and then after that it will just split into chunks based on the chunk size and all. And over here it will take the help from the no, for chunking it will not take help, but then it will call the Gemini API to convert the chunks into the embedded coding. So embedding vectors it will create, and it will create the vectors for all those chunks one by one. And if the vector is not empty, which is basically JSON, then it will call the respective Pinecone API to update the Pinecone. So that's all. So I have created, I think the process is done. So let me go back and refresh it. Okay, so it was updated. I don't know if you saw, but it was count was showing 22, so it got refreshed. It got refreshed. So yeah, it's got refreshed, and here's a smaller chunk, all of them. So it is giving more chunks, so more accuracy will be there. However, the trade-off will be that it will be yeah, huge database. So I can just see the values for any one of them. Say for example, I'll just randomly take this chunk 12, and I'll fetch this record, and over here the values, I'll just copy this value over here and go to my notepad. So if you remember, this was the previous one, that was 768 count, and even for this one I'm pretty sure it will be same 768 count. So if I count here 768, so chunk size is smaller but vector size will remain same. So that's all I wanted to show you in this quick video. I can also quickly show you the matrix. I hope no, it is still not reflecting, but after a while probably it will reflect the uses and all the things will increase. So this is the free version I have shown you, and it will work more or less fine. However, yeah, for actual production you may have to go for the paid versions for both Gemini and Pinecone APIs. So that's all. I hope this video is useful to you. If you have any questions or suggestions, then please put it in the comment section below. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.